Hello and welcome back. This is going to be a pick a card reading about what makes you naturally lucky and what are the ways that you can tap into that better. So we have 4 piles. It's all jewelry. So pile 1 is going to be this little earring. Let me see if I can get it to focus. That's pile 1. It's not really focusing, I'm sorry. And then pile 2, this gold hoop, real gold. And then this for pile 3, it's little amethyst crystals. And then for pile 4, I call this the mermaid necklace because it has the abalone shell and the little tail. So yeah, it's this long necklace. So go ahead and pick your piles, or pile or piles if you're drawn to more than one. So again, pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Okay, so let's start with pile 1 for what makes you naturally lucky. What are all the ways that you are? Okay, so right away, I'm getting the sense that something that's lucky about you is actually the way that you can almost trick people. So it's like you can present as one thing, but really be another. So it's like, it's more than just using the fact that people underestimate you and just kind of letting them. It's like you know what people think of you, but you don't try to change that. And you just kind of play the part that they have created in their head for you. Like you don't try, but you just don't try not to, if that makes sense. But I feel like this is lucky because this is not something many people can do. It's like you're able to tap into other people's perception of you, and you can control or change that or just leave it. But it's like either way, you're in control somehow. Like you know the little things to say or to do. You're like, okay, this person thinks this of me, so I know that if I do this or this, they're gonna have this reaction. And it kind of gives you an edge over people or power over people because it's like you can see into their minds, but it's not just their minds, like their thoughts. It's like their behaviors, how they respond, and you can play on that and tap into that energy and use it for your own benefit. So like, it's almost giving me the tortoise and the hare, how the tortoise wasn't worried about, you know, what if people thought he would lose or he would be the slowest. It was just, it's like you let people think what they want, but you use it to your advantage in a way. And something about that is, it's like it always works out for you because you're not trying to manipulate people. You don't have bad intentions when you're doing this. It's not like you're trying to control people. It's just like if someone wants to make a mess, you're gonna let them make that mess because you have this part of you. Hang on, let me close the door because I feel like it's loud. The dishwasher is loud. Okay. So you have this part of you that it's like your built-in defense or built-in protection, and you know you're supposed to use this. And I feel like if you tried to explain it to someone, and maybe you have in the past, and they took it the complete wrong way, and they took you as being manipulative or conniving or like trying to scam people, but that's not the energy at all. But I feel like you can't really put it into words or explain it to someone because you feel like it would come off as like, I know how to get in people's minds and control what they think. And it's like, well, I mean, if you have that ability, you're probably supposed to use it, you know? And you know what you're using it for. So the hangman, yeah, you have this amazing ability to just surrender. It's like you don't try to fight things. You don't try to fight people's ideas of you, people's If someone is in a bad mood, you let them be in a bad mood, but you detach from it. It's like you're in, and maybe you weren't always this way. Maybe it took a long time or a lot of practice to get to this point where you could be in this surrender flow state, or maybe it's just something that's always come natural to you. But I feel like because figuring this out or being in this flow state is what taps you into your luck, your natural luck. It's a lot the energy of something that it's just this innate knowing within you that you couldn't even really describe. And it's not like maybe this is the first time you've experienced someone talking about it, or like experienced it outside of your own mind, or this is the first confirmation you've got that you can do this and it's real. But I just feel like you have a very close connection to spirit, to God, however that is for you. And you don't need anyone to understand it. And you don't feel the need to try and get someone to understand it. You just accept it. And that's how you tap into your luck, by staying in that flow state. And it's like everything just works out for you. You don't even worry about how or why or these details. You just stay in this surrendered state where you're not trying to force anything. And it's like everything just works out. And whether, like I said, whether that's been your whole life or something that you had to practice getting into, at this point, either way, it's just natural. It's just nature. And it's something that you were always meant to do, and an ability you were always given. And I feel like maybe you went through a time of feeling ashamed or feeling bad or just trying to reject or push this part of you away. But of course, that only resulted in you facing a lot of resistance in your life and just not being in this flow state and having things go wrong even when you're trying, and feeling like, why am I trying so hard? This should be easier. And then you get into this state and everything is easy and everything works out. And it's like you're lucky. You just feel like everything works out for you. So I can't remember the movie, but there's this one movie where this girl has the superpower of being lucky. Like no matter what she does, it turns out good for her. Even if she were to like get in a car wreck, it would somehow work out in her favor. So that's what I'm getting for you. It's like you just understand, like nothing, everything you do is lucky because you're in this flow state. So I feel like that was pretty specific, and that's really all that's coming through. I don't feel like you really need advice because it's like you already know what to do and you're doing it. This is just confirmation for you. So thank you so much, Pile 1, for watching, and I will see you next time. So now, let me clear the energy with some music. For Pile 2, those who picked the golden hoop, this is going to be your pile. Put that right there. So for Pile 2, right away the gold hoop is having me think like you have the ability to turn on charm or turn on this, excuse me. It's like you can go, okay, that popped out for Pile 1. So if you felt drawn to Pile 1, this could definitely be connected. But you know how to turn on charm. Like you're someone who, if you want to be invisible, you can. But if you want to be noticed, you can. Like you have that ability to just turn it on and kind of like get whatever you want. And this feels a little similar to Pile 1, but different. It's like you know how to charm people. You know just the right thing to say, just the right thing. It's like I just keep getting you turn something on within you. Like you turn your energy to full power or something, and it just, like everyone looks at you, it's like you turn into a god or a goddess. And you were always, but you were kind of like undercover or hidden. Like imagine, or I'm thinking of Odin even, how he can appear as like an old man or Like he maybe doesn't look like you would expect a god to look, but, or how some will go undercover and like a old or a sick person or just somebody unassuming, and then all of a sudden it's like they reveal themselves. So that's the energy I am feeling for this pile, for pile 2. It's like you know how to manipulate energy without having to do anything. Like on a physical level, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to say certain words, or even though I said you know just what to say. But what I mean is it's an energetic thing. It's not something physical that you do. It's like when you turn this on, also the gold is like the Midas touch. Like whatever you do or say, you could say the dumbest thing or even something offensive or just, and it's like people are just gonna laugh and think it's the most charming thing ever, because you can just turn this charm on and it makes people want to do things for you. Almost like a celebrity who they don't need, like they can afford anything, but they're just given free stuff all the time. Like, please wear this dress, please. Like they're always given stuff, not because they need it, but because people want to give to them. Or how they'll make like pictures and try to give it to them or throw it on stage. It's like you just have that, you can turn that energy on where people want to give to you. You don't have to ask. You're not at all someone who's like begging or asking. It's really just people want to give to you. It's a joy and a pleasure too. And maybe you weren't always good at receiving, or maybe there were times in your life where this came natural, and other times when maybe you felt bad or guilty, like, why do I get this but others don't? Or like, why, I don't know, just felt maybe like you were taking advantage of people. But it's important for you to know that your energy inspires people. It doesn't make them feel obligated or like I have to give my last penny or all of my rent money to this person. It's just like you help people to enjoy giving. You help to teach people the joy in giving, and not just in receiving, but in actually giving. And I feel like you're a very gracious acceptor. I'm also seeing people like making offerings to a god or a goddess, like leaving them in the temple. It's like people just, your energy deserves to be rewarded. Like if you come into a room, your presence and your energy raises the energy. It doesn't just raise it, it like turns it on. It's like if everything was dead, it's now alive. So just in case you do ever feel guilty or have those thoughts of like, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I'm taking advantage, know that you are helping teach people the beauty in giving when they realize they can give. And because when people give to you, they don't feel bad after. They don't feel like, oh, that was too much, or I really didn't have that to spare. Like you don't make people feel taken advantage of. You don't make them feel empty or like they gave too much. So you're actually doing a great service to the world by helping teach people the joy of giving and the proper way to give, in a way that you're not, because your giving and receiving should always be somewhat of an equal exchange. It can be a physical thing for an energetic thing. It doesn't have to be the same thing. It just has to be both parties feel it's somewhat equal or somewhat of a compromise, or like it's fair, you know? And I feel like people do feel that when they give to you. They're not just, waiting for something in return, because you've already given by this energy. And it's important that you needed to know that energy, your energy is enough. You don't need to do anything more to be deserving. And you also show people how to do that, how to be deserving, how to honor yourself. So you're a model in life for people. All that from one card. But that's really all I'm getting. See if anything else. I mean, no other card has even came out this whole time. I don't feel like you, and also how he almost has a gold ring around his head. Like this energy he just turns on, like he just lays there and it's done. Like it's an internal effort, not a physical effort. Okay, but I feel like the way this little angel is looking at him and pointing at him, you even capture the attention of like not just humans. I'll just put it that way. You capture everyone's attention. It's not just humans. It's not just those on Earth. Everyone and everything is attracted and I heard attached to you. So you could be someone who's had to work on having really good boundaries, because maybe this energy that you have, it's actually, or maybe in the past it could have been addicting to people. And so they would really, like, they would be the ones trying to take advantage of you just to get some of that energy. But I feel like you've learned how to have boundaries and how to not let that happen. So that's not really an issue for you anymore. It doesn't feel like that's a current thing, just maybe something in the past. So that's really all that I'm getting for you. I hope you enjoyed this reading, pile 2, and thank you for watching. I will see you next time. All right, let me get ready for pile 3. Watch that same card come up again. Let me shuffle a bit. Okay, those who picked this necklace for pile 3, this is going to be your reading. How do you naturally attract luck? And how you can tap more into that or anything about it. So for pile 3s, I'm feeling like you're naturally, well, it may feel like natural luck, but those who pick this pile have a lot of good karma from previous lives that is being served out. And so it could be interpreted as luck, but it's like you worked for this. This is what you've earned. But maybe just because, like, maybe you don't remember those lives or don't really have a connection to that. So you just interpret it as things going well for you. And this doesn't mean your life has been perfect, but maybe there's been certain situations where it just, something just miraculously, I can't say this word right now, like in a miraculous way. Why does it feel like I'm saying that wrong? These things happen for you, and it's like situations where you feel like, okay, there's no way I'm gonna get out of this. Like it's done. There's no solution, and then something just magically appears. So you could you could experience that in your life. But I feel like I feel like in general, you're a very kind-hearted, sweet person. And so that does, of course, like you putting out that energy does, of course, attract it back. But I'm getting just a very, very sweet energy. And I'm thinking of fairies. You could be connected to the fae, fairies, elves, anything like that. But let's see what comes up. King of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, this one feels a little sad because I feel like I'm hearing that in all the ways you've been let down by people, Spirit lifts you up. So maybe physically you didn't have a lot growing up, or you weren't materially blessed, but it's like Spirit was always there with you along the way, helping you out, giving you little tips, giving you little hints. And it's like maybe you really needed something from an adult. I'm hearing from a grown-up, so it could be your parents. But it's like I feel like you were let down by people who should have taken care of you, should have been responsible, should have done things for you, but they didn't. And so it's like you learned not to depend on the physical world, and you were pushed into something more spiritual or deeper. And maybe you didn't even grow up like religious or around anyone who taught you about spirituality, but you just found it on your own because King of Cups coming up. So yeah, it's like the physical wasn't there. The people weren't there for you like you needed. So you leaned on the emotional. You leaned on things unseen. You were in search of this love, of this protection, of this care, just for someone or something to care. And this caused you to become spiritual, because it's like, if I can't find it in the physical, I'm going to search in the spiritual. And even if you didn't consciously think that, it led you there. But I haven't yet picked up on what makes you naturally lucky. Well, I guess I said in the beginning, things just working out for you. It's okay. Okay, this is what it's reminding me of. Cinderella. Because think about it, how everything was going, wrong for her, basically. She was treated horribly, but she had divine assistance. She had her fairy godmother, who ultimately helped her, or helped lead her out of the situation she was in and into the one that she was always destined to be in. So I'm very much getting a Cinderella energy from this pile of like, the people let you down, physical circumstances let you down, but spirit was always there to pick up the slack or pick up the pieces where people weren't caring or weren't able to give you. And because of that, you develop this relationship with spirit. I think the reason why luck isn't coming through is because it's not luck. It's this connection that you have to spirit, where it's like they've adopted you. Like, okay, this family rejected you, and now spirit adopted you. The gods, the goddesses, the entities, like they take care of you. They look after you. So it's not luck. It's that you're so protected, and you're not just protected, but you're so loved. Like they really took you. And I'm also getting that some of you will have a conscious memory of this. Some of you won't. But I feel like as a child, you had a lot of experiences talking to spirit, talking to fairies, talking to entities, whatever it may be. And maybe it's either like it seems so normal you didn't think of it as being something, or you just completely forgot, or it was like erased from your, not erased, but kind of hidden away in your memories. But I feel like spirit really, really talks to you through animals, even through, but this feels like definitely the most psychically gifted pile. You're just so loved. Like spirit really takes care of you. Like I said, it's like they've adopted you. Like she's or she, I don't know if you're a female, girl, or identify with that, but that's just what I heard. He is ours. Like they're mine. That's how spirit feels about you. Like, make it, if anything else is coming up. And I feel like you know that. So maybe even saying I'm lucky doesn't feel right, because you're like, it's not luck though. It's something else. It's not just, because luck feels more, to you, luck feels more random or like by chance or like, but this isn't how this feels to you. It feels something always being at the right place at the right time, just when you need it. And it's like in ways that humans couldn't have done this. Like no human could have known this information to be able to make this happen. So let's see if anything else. I'm also hearing spirit will always take care of you. That's something you need to know if you didn't. Spirit will always take care of you, will always be there. Even, so let's say you create a family of your own, you meet somebody, you fall in love, or you just meet like your soul family, or just people you really connect with, and people who actually can give you or give to you in ways that people didn't in the past. Even so, spirit is still going to be there. They're not going to be like, oh, they have friends now, they don't need me anymore. Or like, oh, they're taken care of, they don't know. Spirit's like, you're mine, you'll always be mine. And you're not going to always be lonely. You needed to first develop this relationship with spirit, because if you didn't, then you would have leaned on the physical for these things. And it's like, as hard as it was growing up feeling like you lacked, it's going to give you such a better future. Like whatever you didn't have in your childhood or growing up, it's going to be made up for, because you know how to, you're not so attached to the material that it's like you know how to, it's simple. I don't know why it's hard to explain. Like you don't need the physical to be happy. You know how to create love and happiness and stability without the things that most people would need to feel those. And that's why it's like you're tapped into a place that can't be taken from you. It can't be lost. It can't be stolen. It's up to you. Like, you're in control of the relationship. So it's like, I feel like I'm over explaining and confusing at this point. But that's all I'm getting for you. Let's see if anything else. Yeah, that's all I'm getting. But yeah, just know it's only going to get better. Like, I feel like it's already started to get better, but it's just going to continue to do so. So I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you for watching this this reading. And I'll see you next time. Okay, last but not least, our pile 4 with the mermaid necklace. So pile 4, finding out, here, I'll put it right here. Finding out, okay, I'm being told to lay it out in a circle. What are you naturally lucky at, or that's not what it is. How are you naturally lucky and how you can tap into that, anything about it. Let's see. You may be someone who likes to have things a specific way, like, no, this has to go in this corner and this has to be laid out like this. That's just a specific message for someone if you needed the confirmation. Okay, pile 4. In what ways are they naturally lucky? I heard I wanted to say naturally gifted. So you could be someone who's just naturally gifted in many things, or maybe if it's only one thing, you're just very, very gifted. 8 of Cups in reverse. Six of Pentacles. This pile, I'm feeling like you create your own luck. Like, you're somebody who, you're very talented at manifesting in the physical world. Like, you're connected to spirit, but not in a stereotypical way. Like, maybe you're someone who, like, you're the farthest from like crystals and burning sage and that type of thing. Maybe that's not you at all, and your connection to spirit is different, and it's, you maybe don't even call it that, because maybe you call it something completely unrelated to spirituality. Maybe you even don't like spiritual type things. So, well, it'd be interesting if you're watching this, but I feel like you're someone who's a very hard worker, but it's like you actually know the right way to work hard. Because so many people, what they think working hard is ignoring your body's signals and just forcing and using your willpower to just force straight forward like a bulldozer and not let anything get in their way. And although it's good to have a mindset of like, I'm not going to let anything get in my way, you have to listen to your body. You have to rest and pause, or you will get burnt out. And it's so much harder to heal yourself and build yourself back up after that burnout. And I feel like you already know all of this. And so I'm not telling you this. I'm just saying that's the way most people work hard or think of working hard, is like just pushing to the absolute limit till they're literally dropping. But I feel like I heard you hack the system. Like, you know how to, you can even be like rich or wealthy, but it's like because you created that for yourself. Like, you're very independent, successful, driven, and you just don't make excuses. You don't make excuses for yourself. Maybe you hold other people to a high standard because you hold yourself to such a high standard, and you're kind of like, I'm getting heavy Capricorn energy in this pile. Doesn't have to be. That's what I've been getting this whole time. But it feels like maybe something you need to know is this inner knowing you have of like, I just know, I feel like you just know what to do. And if you don't know what that's called, that's claircognizant. It's the ability to just know, and you can't really explain why or how, but it's such a strong knowing that you also wouldn't ever challenge it or argue with it, because it's like, it's non-debatable. And I feel like you have that. You just have these inner knowings. And that's what you listen to and trust. And that is what creates your success. You could even be someone who's in the, what's it called, the stock market, or who is in like an investor, or someone who has a type of job where you're like very corporate, but it's like you know, you have the inside information because you have this inner knowing that just guides you. And it's like you never miss. That's what I'm hearing. You never miss. You could also, I'm also seeing like a car salesman or saleswoman, or like someone who's in sales and gets a commission, like big commission. But I feel like you don't even realize how spiritually connected you are because you never thought of this as being that, but it is. Let's see what else. But there, again, I'm being told to talk about how you're just very no excuses. Like you're like, well, there has to be another reason. Like you will never victimize yourself. You'll never be like, oh, poor me. Here's why I can't. Here's why it won't work for me. Like you don't think like that at all. You're like, if I'm still alive, it's possible. Like that's all. That's all. And the only thing you need to understand is that comes naturally to you, that way of thinking. But for like 99.9% of other people, it doesn't. And so if you're expecting other people to get it, or like, why don't they get it? Like you could be like, why don't people have common sense? Like it's so obvious, it's right there, but it's like, it's not for them. For you it is, but for everyone else it's not. So I feel like maybe you have a hard time connecting with other people at times because you're so into your own way that it's hard for you to imagine someone being different. Because it's such a strong thing you have. It's such a strong knowing within you that you're like, how can anyone not have this? But I feel like this whole point of the reading for you is to know that this is something significant. This isn't something everyone has, or this isn't just a normal thing everyone feels. And it's a gift that you have and that you use very well. But it's like, if you hold other people to that standard, they're going to disappoint you and you're going to get frustrated with them and they're going to get frustrated with you. So just know that this is your own thing. And you could, okay, so I feel like you could even, and maybe you've thought about this, turn this ability into a business. Like you could coach people, because the things that come naturally to you, you're not meant to expect everyone to know it. You're meant to, if you want to, it's not like you have to, but it's like you're meant to use these things that you're given naturally and teach people how to do it. And I'm already hearing someone say, well, how can I teach it if it just comes natural to me? It's about teaching your perspective. So you could tell someone, if I was in this situation, like I'm seeing you on a podcast and people are calling in and they're like, here's my situation. You know, what would you do? And you don't have to know the other person. All you have to know is like, what would your perspective be? If you were in their shoes, how would you approach it? How would you think? What would come to you? And just kind of giving them that advice. And so I feel like you don't feel like you could be a teacher, but you're perfect to be a teacher. You already know enough information. And when I talk about teaching, I don't mean dedicating your life to teaching. I mean your life being a living example, and that's how you would be the teacher. And like maybe having clients who, you know, specific people who it like, I'm seeing it being exclusive. Like getting to work with you is very exclusive. And it's like you've built this business for yourself, or this is just one possibility. And, you know, it's like something where you have to call months ahead to get an appointment because you're booked up, and like you only take specific people. You don't just take everyone who applies, like something like that. But it's just more success and more money for you, which I feel like is something that really drives you, but not in a materialistic way, just in like, I can't even find the word to explain it, but I feel like you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but the last thing coming up for you is like, don't doubt, like this inner knowing you have. Don't start to doubt and be like, well, how am I going to do this? Just lean on the inner knowing. That's all you ever need to guide you. That is the only tool you will ever need. That's the thing that's going to come through. That is what you will always need. And if you have that, everything else will come to you. You don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not prepared, I'm not qualified. Like, this is what prepares you. This is what qualifies you. This gift you have, this inner knowing, claircognizance. So that's all I'm getting for you. Didn't really have anything to do with mermaids, interestingly. But I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.